Colt Lightning. Yes, pump action rifle. This is actually a Pedersoli reproduction of it, and a nice one. It's pretty, isn't it? Look at that thing. Now it's called the Lightning partly because, or mainly because it's fast as lightning. You think? Well, let's just shoot it and see if I can hit anything with it. All right, pump action. Okay, feels okay. It's like a pump. It's a little awkward until you get in the groove, but you know, supposedly very fast. So I don't know. I've shot it a fair amount and it does okay. Supposedly you can keep it on target better because you're working the bolt up here and not doing that kind of thing. So I'm not so sure. We'll see. The claim to fame on this rifle, at least according to Colt, was that it's supposed to cycle really fast, and you know, that advantage of the pump and everything, different from what you see over there, a lever gun. And the magazine on it happens to be loaded. I thought I'd just shoot that too, get a feel. And I haven't worked out with these things, and okay, let's spend a couple hours seeing how fast I can work this pump or that lever gun. But I have shot it some. Let me try this. Okay, I'm gonna shoot the same targets just to give you a look. This is 4440, about the same power factor. My hand loads versus this, there's just virtually no difference. So anyway, let's just shoot some with this. Missed. Oops, where did cool. Let's hit a plate. Oh, let's go. So I don't know from watching. This isn't the rifle I used to compete with. Some I used to compete with a Marlin 94. I think maybe I could shoot a little bit faster. Maybe even my 1873. But I don't know. This is as good as any. So the verdict for me is I don't know that I really can shoot this pump rifle any faster than a lever gun. All right. So lest you think because of your inexperience with these sorts of firearms that you're going to be able to shoot this thing like twice or three times as fast as a good lever gun, I don't think that's really the case. Okay. For one thing, when you're shooting, and we've demonstrated this with pump shotguns versus a semi-automatic shotgun. Granted, it can be faster in the shotgun world, and this is a little bit different. This is manually operated in both cases, right? So you've got to you acquire, after you fire, bang, you've got to reacquire your sight picture on the target you're trying to hit, which takes a little bit of time. And really the same amount of time basically it takes to work the action, whichever firearm that you're using. So I don't know. Some of you folks that are into cowboy action shooting, I have seen on the internet and doing some research that some of you use this. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done any of those matches. And I was telling John, so if this was a whole lot faster, I'm sure you would see a lot of these in the hands of top competitors in cowboy action shooting. Now that may be more the case now, but it wasn't when I was doing a lot of it. In fact, I'm not sure I remember anybody with one of these. But that would be the case. Just like with the shotgun, you see a lot of really top competitors with the 1897 pump guns. Got them all slicked up and tuned up, because if you really work at it, the top end potential is greater with a pump shotgun. You can actually shoot it a little faster, even though you're limited to 2 shots, generally, to load it. The very top, the very top competitors will tend to use an 1897, okay? I'm talking the really top competitors, the fastest people out there. They work at it, work at it, work at it, and work at it. And they have determined that they can shave off a little time with a pump shotgun, okay? I'm not sure that's the case here. If it were, that's what they would be using, I would think. Because, man, the people that are at the top of that game, cost is irrelevant. We are with our competition and our toys, and we guys, especially, we don't mind spending the money if it'll give us an edge, right? So, but I don't know, that may have changed. That's why I was asking. Let me know. So I don't see a lot of difference. I don't gain a lot myself. I don't feel like I gain anything. It may be because I have shot lever guns so much. So, but anyway, it's a nice piece of hardware. Isn't it beautiful or what? And loading gate, and this is a release here if you notice. Okay, the slide locks up until you push that. I kind of like that where that is. That's neat. And I think this is pretty authentic to the originals that they started making in 1884. They were made basically from 1884 to 1904. So Kentucky, how long is that? I think it's 20 years. And they made, I think, about 90,000 of these in the mid-size, or maybe all totaled. Because they made it eventually in a smaller frame for like 22 small cartridges. And they also made it in a bigger frame for like 50 calibers and different things, okay? I think this was the most popular model though. And it came out in 4440, I believe. Very popular chambering. That's one reason I have this Colt out here. Hey, Colt made both of these, right? At least the originals. This is 4440, and I think Colt started making the Peacemaker in 4440, called the Frontier model, in 1877. I've told you all that before, so just go back to the video. And so it was already a popular chambering. Of course, the 1873 rifle came out in 4440. 44 Winchester, called at the time. So it had been out. Colt was making a pistol in that chambering, and it was pretty popular because a lot of people loved the 1873 Winchester, and they were, you know, matching it up with the same chambering in their handgun and everything. And so it made sense when you bring this out. And Marlin was out in that chamber. That is, well, that's a Winchester, but Marlin had the 4440, I believe. And so, you know, it made sense. Nice cartridge, mid-size round. And again, none of these were chambered in 45 Colt back in the day. Okay, I've told you all that before. Hope you're taking notes now. 45 Colt was not chambered in any of the rifles, you know, in the old days. Okay, even though it was an old cartridge, it goes back to 1873. Today, a lot of these rifles are. It just makes sense. Okay, but and this is 45 Colt. Now, this is the negative. Okay, you're watching the negative of this rifle. Okay, is loading it. It's a little awkward to load. Okay. Well, that's even getting more awkward. You have to use the old Jimmy Stewart method, as we call it sometimes, and push the other one in there. I've discovered it's the best way, but I don't know what it is about it. I've been trying to figure out. It doesn't seem that the loading gate is that much smaller. It's just awkward. Here we go again. There we go. I don't know if my handler's a little bit easier. It's a bit finicky. I think they're a little bit easier, than a little more of a rounded bullet. So I don't know. These will fit and they work okay. So the bottom line there is you would need to test your ammo, talk to some people, and be aware that some ammo it's not going to like. Okay. So, but I did count. It holds 10 rounds. I guess that's 10. Wow. So it's a sweet shooter. It's a beautiful rifle. It's, I think, very authentic in design and everything, with a few improvements to make it more safe. But it's a bit of a bear to load. For John and me both, I think that's the number one negative. I wouldn't want to deal with it myself. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things. It'll probably get easier to load as you own it and fire it. But it's a bit awkward to begin with. All right, let's shoot something. Let's just shoot the gong. Tired of fooling around with it. Well, there we go. I must have shot low. Or high. Let's go a little higher. Oh yeah, I was holding too low. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was holding too low. All right, let's try some 2 liters here closer. Yeehaw! Gotta smoke some pot. Maybe that'll make it work more smoothly. So, I mean, the cycle's fine. Just getting the ammo in there is a little, I don't know, a little awkward. Let's just put it that way.